they ride with a smile. Girls who before they joined the service were dressmakers and typists are today daredevil riders and skilled mechanics. Fearless, but still feminine, and still fond of the cup that cheers. So cheers, girls.
That was 70 years ago. 2013 celebrates 110 years of Harley Davidson. The motorcycle is a global icon of untamed freedom. So what has changed? What lies behind the thrill of the ride?
I guess it's that sense of empowerment and that sense of understanding that in every area of life, women aren't the downtrodden creatures that possibly we were 50 years ago. You didn't do manly things like ride motorcycles or even drive cars to a greater extent. You were the little lady at home. That was society, particularly in America, middle America anyway. And for women to, maybe they did do all of that, but they rode bikes as well and made a big show of it and looked amazing doing it. That was a fantastic thing. You know, it's a show of strength. It was women bucking the convention of the time, saying whatever you guys are off doing, having fun, we can do as well. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And if women are still doing that today, even better.
Gloria Struck is a prime example of a pioneering women motorcyclist. Having learnt to ride age 16 in 1941, 72 years and 500,000 miles later, aged 88, she is riding still. Being an original member of the Motor Maids that was formed in 1940, the largest and only women's motorcycle club of the time, she is still proud to be a member today. Back in 1940, Gloria states, "Women riders were not thought of kindly. It was a rarity to see a woman riding. I was called names and refused gas. However, today, there are so many more women taking control and riding, it's a different world." Today, 1 in 10 motorcyclists are now women. But there is a long-standing stigma that all riders are masculine. Feminism seeks gender equality. A woman with no fear, strength, determination, and courage are discovering the lure of the highway.
The emotional side for me is getting over those hurdles. I've had moments, you know, being a new rider, I've had moments where I thought, you know, I don't know if I can do this. But then I leave it, I breathe, and then think about it, and, you know, I carry on because it's something I want to do. And I'm very much like, if I want to do something, I'll do it. I think sometimes I forget the little steps that I've made to get to where I am now. You know, thinking about a couple of years ago, you know, not riding and just being on the back and always saying, oh yeah, I'm going to do my licence, yeah, I'll have to do it when I do this. So I found a way of getting the money together and doing my licence, and I was really pleased with myself. The biggest achievement, I think, was when I fell off my bike on my test and I got back up straight away and got back on that bike. You know, I was focused even through all the tears, you know, from the pain from hurting my hand. And the embarrassment, I thought to myself, I'm leaving today with a CBT licence. And I got straight back up and I got back on the bike and I did it. So that for me was, you know, I felt so proud of myself that I'd done that and, you know, that I'd stuck with it. And it spurs you on to go further. If I'd just given up there and I thought, oh no, I've fallen off, obviously can't do it, I wouldn't be here where I am now.
Could this be the new definition of feminism? Women of the 21st century are not just going along for the ride. Fearless, they are moving into the driving seat. A softer yet edgy female version is definitely developing. Women are now a growing part of the riding community.
I've always believed that the best way you can, you know, I'm not a feminist in as much as going around saying I should be treated specially because I'm a woman. I just think the best way to be a feminist is just to do what you want to do and not let negative responses, often from men, to put you off.
Well, I think you have to blend in, so in actual fact you're not male or female. I'm known as a rider.
Yeah.
I'm not known as a female rider, but I've worked hard at that.
Discrimination-wise, it depresses me sometimes to see that no matter how much women go it alone, do their own thing, prove they can do it, there are always going to be men, and it isn't just the older generation, it's the younger guys as well. There's always going to be men that just can't handle that.
It's a passion, you know. I love my bike. I am at one with my bike when I'm riding miles. I look forward to the weekends and meet up with my other Harley friends. The other thing is the friendship, the security, and you know, the camaraderie that you get.
Whilst women are showing the strength and power to hold their own, are they being recognized as being female riders? Are their needs and desires being catered for and acknowledged by the motorcycling industry?
When I first started looking for female motorcycle clothing back in the early 90s, it was so limited, and what there wasn't particularly nice. If you had any style other than the style you were told you had to wear, you had no chance, which is another reason why it was great that I'm into vintage stuff, because I just made my own stuff up. I'd buy a vintage, get a vintage leather jacket and a pair of Levi's and a pair of engineer's boots, and that was me done. I was quite happy like that.
When you look at the array of clothing in a proper bike shop, you know, clothing shop, it's 90% men and 10% women, as opposed to 50-50. And also, people seem to think that women want just pink crash helmets, or want pink on this and pink on that. And actually, not all of us are pink people, you know. But it's important. I think it is important to maintain your femininity when you're riding.
It is undeniable that with the 110 years of motorcycle fashions, it has shaped the landscape of the vintage and heritage trends we see so prevalently in today's retail world. Dating back from the early 1900s, we can see how women were already setting trends.
And this book's Harley Davidson Book of Fashions from the 1910s to the 1950s, so it really is, for me, the golden era of fashion. Beautiful bikes, beautiful styling. More young ladies were entering the motorcycle world after World War II. 2 young women in old-style club uniforms with AMA patches just look fantastic. Very stylish, beautiful, very feminine, but still practical, which is important on a bike.
The most synonymous fashion statement since the dawn of motorcycling, the uniform of cool, the black leather jacket. First making an appearance during both World War I and II, worn by pilots to motorcyclists to rock stars to the fashion forward. The most global influence being Marlon Brando in the film The Wild One, dating back to 1953, projecting an image of rebellious youth, defining the most iconic piece of heritage clothing as an expression of fashion and style.
Okay, the black leather jacket has never gone out of fashion, very highly prized now, as whether it's a piece of high fashion or an ancient, well-worn vintage piece, which is somebody's life story. All these badges meant something to somebody, told their life of them, generally on a motorcycle, of where they'd been and what they were doing and the events they'd been to, where they'd ridden their bikes. So these are very, very personal items of clothing. I can't think of any other item of clothing that says as much about the owner as a badged and studded leather jacket.
This is what I call my memory jacket, in the fact that they are places I've been, or people I've seen, or people who give me the badges because they mean something. That says that I actually belong to the European Federation of Harley Clubs. That is the rally I've just been to last year, which was down near Berlin. And a lot of these are local rallies, plus memories. That's when I rode my 50th birthday, where I rode a Harley on Golden Gate Bridge and Highway 1. My waistcoat always comes with me, because people know that big one on the back from a distance, that's Sue, so people recognise people with the jacket. So it's part of my sort of rally identity.
Women today have revolutionized the leather jacket, making it their own, whether it's adorned with studs and badges or as it forever graces the catwalks, taking motorcycle attire and redeeming it, making a very conscious fashion statement. Could this be a woman's show of dominance within the motorcycling culture?
Black leather jackets, badges, studs, chains, makes a regular reappearance on catwalks. The black leather jacket never goes out of fashion anyway. I think that it's just classic, it's a classic look. If it's worn well and stylishly, fantastic. Can't beat it.
With an enlightening show of power coming from the female motorists, it is of course daunting and can be discouraging to become a new rider. The stereotypical image of the hardened male road warrior, however, is definitely changing. Women are battling the gender barrier and are inspiring other women alike that with a passion and determination, they too can take to the handlebars.
I would say just get on and do it. Don't make excuses. If it's something you're passionate about, something you really, really want to do, don't let other people put you off. It helps to find like-minded people who will encourage you, because it really helps, as with anything new, when you're learning, it helps to have that encouragement. And then when you're out on the open road, it's just exhilarating. And I think women are realising that we can do whatever we set our minds on and our hearts on, and that's